Hi everyone, my name is Missy Gannon, PDGA number 85942, and I am on Team Dynamic Discs. I'm going to show you what's in my bag, what I'm throwing for 2019, and what I'm liking so far. I'm going to start off with my drivers. I'm going to go kind of most stable onward, and sort of like my utility drivers and then my go-to main drivers. So first up is my Lucid Defender. This is a disc that I don't throw super often, but I definitely throw it when, say, there's a headwind and I know that I need to just fight the wind, maybe flip up to flat, and then always go left for me on a backhand shot. I also like to throw it for forehands as well. If I really know I need to get on it and put a lot of speed behind it, this is definitely the disc I like to go to, especially if I want an overstable finish. Next up, a disc I'm really liking a lot, and I kind of stepped up from last year where I was throwing an air version of this. This is just a regular tournament plastic Westside Discs King. I really love this disc for, especially in tailwinds. It just goes super far. I'll always put it on hyzer. It'll flip up to flat, ride a little bit right, and then always come back at the end. It goes really, really far for me, especially in a tailwind. So I really am digging the King. Yeah, so if you're looking for something that is still a little bit stable, but definitely get some right turn out of it, I would definitely check out the Westside Discs King. Next up is the Trespass. These are my go-to drivers. I am throwing this probably 85–90% off the tee. I will be going to a Trespass, and I bag 3 currently, actually all in different plastics, and they all do something different for me. So first I'll talk about my go-to. This is the one I'm throwing the most. If you see me throwing a blue disc, it will be the Trespass. This is a 172 Lucid Trespass, but I've had it in my bag for so long that this is actually my most understable one. So a little bit of tailwind, or if I know I just want to get a full flight out of this, out of the Trespass, I am going to this one. Next up, I have a Biofusion Trespass. This is a 169. This is the weight that I'm typically throwing the most. It just works with my arm speed, and this one is a little bit straighter. It won't get a ton of turn, and it'll always fight out to the left on a backhand shot. I also throw my Trespasses for my forehand shots as well. They go really far, they're still really reliable, they'll always come back at the end. I'm starting to get better at them, and I'm not turning my wrists as much, but even so, they can still handle that if I make a mistake. But for the most part, they're just gonna ride straight and have a nice gentle fade at the end. And then finally, my newest Trespass. This is actually my 2019 tour series or tour fundraiser. And this is a Fusion Burst Trespass. This is so new, and it's pretty domey, and it just has the stability that I need to be a step up from my Biofusion. This one will ride straight for a while, but have a bit more fade at the end. So I can definitely trust this. If I don't want to bump up to the defender, I can know that I can still trust this to always fade to the left on a backhand shot. I love the Trespass, and I really recommend picking one up if you just want something that's going to go super far, a lot of versatility, and just pretty. This one is a 168 as well, so I typically like to throw my distance drivers in between like the 165 to 170 range, with a few exceptions. So next up are my Fairway Drivers, and I'll go from most overstable on. My most overstable Fairway Driver is definitely my Fusion Burst Felon. I love this disc. It is just so predictable, so reliable. It's always going to go left. It's if you beat it in, it's going to flip up to flat, but again, it's just always going to ride to the left afterwards. I love this for flex shots, especially like force over anti-flex shots. This is my go-to. Super reliable, super pretty, and this is a 173 gram. I love this disc. Next up are my Explorers. I bagged 2 of them at the moment. They're both 174 grams. This is a Goldline Burst one, and this is one that's a little bit more beat in. Definitely still overstable for me, but this will ride flat for a while and then fade out at the end. I love the glide on this disc. I think it goes pretty far for an overstable fairway driver, and I really like the Explorer. And I also bag a hybrid one from last year's GBO. Again, it's just a little bit more overstable, so if I just need a little more fade, but not as much as my Felon will give me, then I will go to the hybrid Explorer. Now for probably my favorite fairway driver, and what's different from last year are my Escapes. I have fallen in love with these discs over the last few months. They go so far for a fairway driver. The first is a 167 Fusion Burst Escape. I love the Fusion plastic. I think I carry Fusion tournament Goldline plastics in every disc that I throw, maybe. But I just love the feel of it. I think that it doesn't beat in too fast, but it definitely beats in a little bit faster than the Lucid plastic. This is just like the farthest throwing fairway driver that I have. It gets a full flex for me, and it's still super reliable. I can still throw it in some wind and not have a problem at all. If I just know that I want to get a lot of distance, this almost goes as far as some of my distance drivers. It's just I can't believe how much distance this gets. But it's definitely my go-to fairway driver. And then I bag a Lucid one as well, just for that extra stability, especially if there's a little bit more wind, and I just want to make sure that I am gonna be okay in some headwind. Then I will go to the Lucid one. And finally, my understable fairway drivers are my Hatchets. I bagged 2 of them. They are 174 and 176. This pink one I have had in my bag for over a year, probably even longer than 2 years. I don't even know. It's been in my bag for so long. It's super understable, and I just really love it for shorter tailwind shots, or something that I need to just hold the understable line and turn and not come out, not do anything else but go to the right on a backhand line. They both pretty much do the same thing. This one's definitely more understable, and this one will hold straighter but still get that turn that I need. So yeah, whatever. All right, next up are my mid-ranges. First, the most overstable thing that I've ever thrown is the Justice. This is a Biofusion Justice. I love this thing. It is so reliable. It is a meat hook. It will go left, and it wants to go left quick. I really like the Justice. I throw it on forehand shots. I throw it backhand. I throw it if I need to get out of trouble. Just anything that I need to go left, this is what I'm throwing that for. It doesn't come out super often because, like I said, it is kind of like a utility disc for me, but it is definitely overstable, and I can trust it to do what I need it to do. Next up, my favorite mid-range ever is the Verdict. This is a Lucid Sparkle Verdict. Nice and overstable, again, really reliable, but it will just hold a little bit longer in the air than, say, like the Justice. I know I could throw it hard, throw it flat, it'll ride straight for a while, but always go to the left. I also like to throw this on forehand lines as well, but again, it's just my go-to overstable mid-range, and I love this disc. I've been bagging it for years, and I will probably never get rid of the Verdict. Next up, my straight mid-range is my regular Lucid Truth. This is actually an ace disc. I got an ace last year with this, and it's just so straight for me. It still has a little bit of stability, but it's not going to dump at all. It's going to flip up to flat if I throw it on a hyzer flip. It's going to ride really straight, maybe get a tiny bit of fade at the end, but I love it because it lands flat and just kind of skirts up to the basket. So yeah, the Lucid Truth is my next favorite mid-range. And then my understable mid-range is the recycled Fuse. This is such a money mid-range. It has like the glide of the way it flies is like a putter to me, but it just goes farther. It's nice and gentle. It turns over. It'll hold an ante line. If you throw it on hyzer, it'll flip up to flat and just ride super straight, no fade whatsoever. It just feels so good, and if you're looking for something that's understable but can still kind of handle different angles, then totally look into the Fuse. I love this disc. And finally, my putters. First, my throwing putters. I have 3. They kind of all do different things. This is a gold line burst. No, that's not the right thing. This is a tournament burst harp that I just, I go to this disc for both forehand lines and for backhands. Nice and overstable, and something that I throw probably on every, hyzer short range shot. I'm throwing the harp. I just feel like it finds the basket, and I don't even have to do anything. just throw it, and it's always finding the basket. Super reliable, and just a great disc. Next up is my Lucid Deputy. This is just super straight for me. It's not even really understable. I just kind of hyzer flip it up, and it'll just ride straight. It won't go left, it won't go right. It's just gonna ride straight the entire flight, and just land super softly. I love the Deputy. I'm about to talk about 3, I guess 4 technically. It has enough stability for me to just know if I throw it straight, I could still throw it pretty hard, and it'll just ride that straight line the whole time. For more understable shots, I have a classic soft Deputy. This is just a disc that I like this disc for, understable shots. I like the soft plastic. I feel like if it hits, a hill or a basket, it's not gonna, go crazy and bounce or roll away. It kind of absorbs that shock and will just lie flat. This is definitely one that I can pop out on ante, and it's just gonna ride that ante line the entire time. Or I'll flip it up, and it'll flip up to flat and then ride right. So this is just, again, my more understable Deputy that I like for my up shots. This is a 175, and this one is a 173. And then finally, my putting putters, and that is also the Deputy. Surprise, surprise. I mean, I love the Deputy. Everyone should be putting with the Deputy. I don't really care what everybody else says. It should be Team Deputy. Okay, let's just get that straight. No, but I'm a straight spin putter. I also putt with a little bit of like a nose up putt. And I just found that the Deputy works really well for my kind of putt. Especially for putting on a spin putt, it's just gonna stay straight the entire time. So if you're aiming at the basket, this is gonna hit the basket. Nobody likes air balls. At least if you hit the basket, you gave it a run. But this is actually the Prime Moonshine plastic. I tend to kind of switch things up. It's always going to be prime plastic for me, but I'm giving the prime moonshine a little bit of a try. And I like it a lot. I don't really see much of a difference because for putting, I just don't really see a huge difference between the moonshine prime and the regular prime. It just feels really good, nice and stiff. It comes out of my hand really, really cleanly. And yeah, I love the Deputy. I will never putt with anything else. I can confidently say that. Finally, I just want to talk about my bag a little bit. I just switched to the Ranger bag this year. I was using the Commander bag, which I loved. It just, the simplicity of it and everything is like accessible on that bag. I really, really liked it. But I decided to change to the Ranger because I wanted that little bit of extra storage in the top. And that's just what I was missing in the Commander. Otherwise, everything feels pretty much the same. I'm really digging this bag. The weight distribution feels really nice. It doesn't feel heavy anywhere. It actually feels lighter, even though I feel like I am putting more stuff in it. But yeah, I'm really liking this bag a lot. I have a couple things like my little swag items. I have some pins. I'm originally from New York, so I have a New York pin, disc golf pin, and then also a Colorado pin, which is where I learned to play disc golf and where sort of my disc golf roots start. And then I also have a GBO pin, and of course you need some minis. I have one of my minis here, and I have an extra mini as well. I just carry some extra, lip balm or whatever, chapstick you want to call it, another mini, some Sharpies and stuff. And then also here I have some hand sanitizer and some tissues. And then up top I tend to carry things like my towels and some granola bars and a disc retriever. Definitely need that here. We're at the Memorial and I've already lost 3 discs, so definitely need a disc retriever. And then of course, whale sack. I love the whale sack. Keeps my hands nice and dry. It's pretty hot here and I have a feeling I'm going to be using this a lot when I'm here this week. And then actually I have been trying out the new Raider that just came out from Dynamic Discs. I like it a lot. I throw the Defender and I throw the Trespass, and this is actually kind of like in between those two. So I'm thinking that maybe I'm going to give it a few more throws and see how I like it, but it sort of falls in between those two for me. So when they come out, go pick one up and see if you like it. I'm starting to like it a lot. So I think that's it for my In the Bag. I hope you enjoyed it. Go follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. And hopefully you'll see a lot of me this year. I'm hoping to do well. It's my first year on tour, so keep an eye out for me and of course always be dynamic.